Hello and welcome to my live. Normally I would say I'm so excited to be here, but the truth is that I did not want to do this live at all. I had put it on my schedule as I launched this masterclass, Reignite, and I scheduled myself to do a live on Saturday. Saturday comes and I'm feeling tired. And I'm feeling like debating whether I should go live or not. But I made a commitment to myself that I was going to stick with my strategy and I was going to show up fully. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to show up fully regardless of my energy, my mood, and whether I wanted to or not. And I'm sharing that with you to be radically honest, to be intimate with how I'm feeling with you, because the truth is we're not always on and we're not always wanting to do things, but when you are committed to something and you're committed to follow through, you do it. So that is why I'm here. Despite the fact that I did not want to be here, I am here and I'm here ready to deliver to you an awesome message and awesome, really important things that I want to share with you so that you can start to bring the passion back into your relationship. I have a potent message to share with you is what I was trying to say. And because I was committed, or because I am committed to showing up live, I decided to do something fun with like my makeup or whatever instead of just showing up with like bare minimum. So I did do like a brown smoky eye. Let me know if you like it or not. Haven't done smoky eye in a really, really long time, but I feel like this suits me the best. Let me know what you think. Okay, so, today, well, first, let me introduce myself. My name is Jessica Lozano, and I am a femme priestess and women's embodiment empowerment coach. And I help women to embody their divine, okay, I'm already messing up here. I help women to embody their divinity, their sovereign divinity when it comes to men and relationships, sexuality and body, so that they can live the life of their dreams with their man, with their sacred union partner. And today we're going to talk about something that's really going to help spice things up in your relationship that have made your relationship perhaps somewhat dull, perhaps uninteresting, disconnected, unsatisfying, or you just feel like there's something missing. You can't quite put your finger on it, but there's something going on in your relationship where it's not like it used to be. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm so excited to have you here. If you are a woman who loves to watch my lives or the replays, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you and I love you so much. If at any time during this live you feel that you want to share this with someone, they need to hear it, please let me know when you do, because I'm going to give you a discount code for this masterclass if you are interested in taking it. So as a token of appreciation for spreading the word and following your intuitive pull to share this message that I have for you today. Okay, so today we're going to talk about the 3 passion killers in your relationship. Because at one point, your relationship wasn't this dull thing, wasn't this, uninteresting, disconnected thing. There was love, there was passion, there was excitement, there was sensuality, there was this person is perfect. Even in their imperfections, they're fucking perfect. I love them so much. This is my person. They are the one. I know. And there's somewhere along the line throughout the years, it's kind of stalled. It's like you're good, you talk, you laugh, you have sex, but it's just not the same, right? So there's something going on, right? There's something going on, or else you would be continuing to expand up and up and up. That's what our relationships are meant to do. Our relationships, our life is supposed to be a upward spiral of evolution. So when we get to this place of it's just not moving, it's just kind of like staying the same, there's some things that we need to check. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can start checking into your relationship to see if or to see what happens when you start implementing this change. Because things will change if you start to implement this. I can pretty much guarantee that. So before I go on with this conversation, let me know what you think are 3 passion killers in a relationship, or perhaps what you think is specific for your relationship and what you feel is a passion killer, or a couple of passion killers, or 3 passion killers that is going on in your relationship. So if you've never thought about this would be a great exercise, or maybe you've already thought about it. This would be good to share, and I want to see what your perspective is, because this is my perspective that I want to teach on, but we all have our own experiences and our own experiences of life and our own little information that we want to give out. So let me know what you think that is for you. And even if you're watching the replay too, because I want to know. And just pause if you're watching the replay and then continue with watching this. Okay, so number one, this is a big one, and I see women doing this all the time, and they wonder why their man acts a certain way. That is criticism. Criticism is a huge passion killer. Like, if you don't know this already, now you know. Criticism is the number 1 thing that I listed here on my top 3 passion killers. Now, criticism can be something that's very nuanced, could be something very small that you're doing. It could be just a tone, it could be just an energy, it could be something very nuanced. Or it could be something very obvious where you are pretty much emasculating your man, which means like you're just chopping his balls off. And if you're doing it in public, it's even worse. And I know women who have done that in public with their man, and that is a horrible thing to be doing in your relationship. So when you were first dating your partner, there wasn't criticism in your relationship. All you had was praise and worship about your man, about your lover, about what was happening in the relationship, their imperfections. You still loved. You're like, oh, this just makes this person, you know? But along the years, things start to happen. And throughout the years, you just start to notice things. Kind of like the high kind of wears off, and you're kind of just now in like your routine and the day-to-day things of your life, that you start to notice things that they're not doing things the way that you want them to do it. Or there was a hurt that happened in your relationship, and now like you're hypercritical or hyper aware of all the things that are happening. So with criticism, behind criticism is judgment, is you're not doing things the way I want you to do them. There's disappointment. There's you're not living up to my expectations. And there's also poor communication. So you're criticizing your partner. And by the way, this can also go the other way around, but I'm just speaking this as women doing this to a man, but definitely it can go the other way as well. But I really see this a lot with women doing this with men. So you start to criticize your partner. You start to demasculate him. You're telling him he's not good enough in one way or another. You are nagging him. You are trying to control how he does things because he's not doing it the way that you want them to do him, because you think that the way you want them to do him is correct. You start criticizing his leadership. Then you start to maybe even step forward and take a more lean forward approach in the relationship, where now you're the one doing the things that you have wanted him to do, but he's not doing it the way you wanted him to do. So now you are in your masculine energy. So what happens with this? When do you think was the last time that your partner felt disappointed, criticized, perhaps not good enough, not doing things right? With what woman did he feel like that with? His mother. So now the energetics of the relationship have changed. Now you're coming along with the energy of my mother. And now he's taking an energy of child. And you wonder why your man is acting like a child while you're living with a grown child. And you're wondering why he's not romancing you. You wonder why he hasn't fixed the things in the house that you've asked him to. You wonder why he's just watching TV all day or playing video games all day. Because he probably doesn't want to hear the criticism. Nobody wants to be criticized. Nobody wants to be told that they're doing things wrong in that type of tone. There is a way to communicate certain things to your partner about certain things that you want to happen or you want them to look like. But there are other things where you just need to allow your man to be and allow him to rise at the pace that you want, that he is meant to rise in, not at the pace that you were demanding him to rise. You see the difference? So the energetics have changed. And this will continue to just get worse and worse. The man will continue to get more passive and more passive and more passive, and you will continue to get more lean forward, more masculine, more taking control, more telling everyone how to do. And therefore, he's not showing up in his leadership the way that you want him to. And therefore, there's no passion. There's no connection. There's no like teamwork, and that you feel that he has your back, and where you can really be in your feminine energy. So what needs to happen? Because when he's in his leadership and when you're in your feminine energy, he's going to want to give to you and you're going to be able to receive. And then of course you're going to give back to him. But you need to learn how to be a good receiver. What needs to happen is that you need to stop criticizing. Whoever's criticizing needs to stop criticizing. And let your man know when he nails it. Let your lover know they did an awesome job bringing you flowers, even though half of them are almost dead. You still need to receive and say, oh my God, thank you so much. You thought of me. Not criticizing how he chose the wrong flowers. Later on, you can, maybe say how much you love that the ones were in bloom, but the other ones didn't last as long. And, something, talk about it. There's a way that you can talk about that. But it's really more about you being able to fully receive the love that your man is giving to you. No matter how little he's giving to you right now, and letting him know that he nailed it so that he wants to continue to give to you more. And you can continue to feel loved and adored, and he feels respected and appreciated for what he did for you. Men are the givers and women are the receivers. This is how we are built up energetically. So men want to give, men want to do, men want to lead, men want to do all the things in the house. That is their natural, when they are in their full embodiment of their masculine energy, in their divine expression, not in their shadow expression, they want to do things. They want to lead. They want to take action. They want to make you happy. That is the giving energy. We are the receivers, okay? Just look at our anatomy. Women have the O, men have the thing, and this is how the polarity is. We receive, we magnetize, we be. So when you let your man know that you nailed it, he feels good giving to you. He feels good that, wow, I gave to her and she loved it and she's so happy. I want to do more of this, and you can actually fully allow the love in. So when I was actively working on really reconnecting with my man, I sat down with my spirit guides and I said, hey, is there any advice that you have for me in order to connect with my man and to feel that love again? And they said, stop criticizing, stop being critical. And I was taken aback by that. I was like, what? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay. And I did not think that I was critical at all. I'm like, I am not a critic. I have worked so hard on my communication and how I talk and my judgment. Me criticizing? So later on that day or the day after, I'm not sure exactly when, me and Ron were cuddled up in the bed. And I said, do I criticize you? And he was kind of taken aback. And he's like, yes, you do, actually. He's like, why do you ask? It's like, well, I was with my spirit guides the other day and they said to stop criticizing, stop being critical. So he's like, yeah. And that shocked me. I was like, okay. Then I started to really pay attention to my behavior and to how I would say things to him and how I would communicate my needs, my wants, or maybe where I needed to maybe just let something go and not be so anal or critical about something because it really wasn't that big of a deal. And for me and Ron, everything was very nuanced. So what's happening in your relationship doesn't necessarily have to be something that's really super obvious. It really could be obvious, like I said, with the criticism. Like you could be emasculating your man and just chopping his balls off, and that is clearly going to kill the passion in your relationship, right? That's a very obvious way. But for this number one, with the criticism, it could be in a very nuanced way with me and just how I asked for things and how I requested things and how my tone was and how was I judging him before I asked him to do something about what the thing that I was going to criticize him about. And where could I just give him space to just be him and allow him and trust him to rise on his own, right? So that was a big thing. And then what comes with this part also, when you allow your man to nail it, you have to be a good receiver, right? And I remember when I started practicing this, Ron wanted to give me a teeth cleaning because I don't have dental insurance, which after I recited this before I went live, and I'm like, you know what, I should really just look into dental insurance. I remember it not being that expensive. But anyways, at the time, he wanted to do this for me, and it's like $300 if you don't have dental insurance, right? Now, because I was learning to receive and to let him know when he nailed it, because that's me receiving his action, right? And whatever it is. And this one, it was a beautiful action, right? Because I could have been critical and said, no, you don't need to spend $300. Like, we don't need to do this. My teeth are fine. Like, I always had pretty good teeth. But instead, I said, really? Yes, I would actually really loved my teeth to get cleaned. And after that, when we talked about it, I actually asked him, like, how did it feel for me to just fully receive that? And he said, it felt really good. It felt really good. I wanted to give you something and you really actually received it. So this is also, this critical part is also about watching your negative commentary or maybe rejecting something that he's doing for you? Where can you stop the rejection and fully allow in? Because when you fully allow in, when you allow his services, his deeds, his gestures to be received and fully received, you're actually opening up your heart to receive the love fully. Even if you didn't do it quite right, but it's the gesture, is the thing fully. And you're being vulnerable in that moment. You're allowing it in. And you're also allowing him to give to you fully. Because also giving is also very vulnerable. Fully receiving and fully giving is two very vulnerable things that you want to have in your relationship, because that creates intimacy. Criticism, negative commentary, rejection of his actions kills this. This is why this is number 1 on my list. The criticism part. This must change. So what you want to do, withhold criticism, just try it out. And anytime he does something right, or that you love, or that you appreciate, begin to acknowledge it. Begin to acknowledge it, whether it's through your words, through a hug, through a touch on the shoulder, like thank you so much, through a note. Just start acknowledging the things that he's doing right. Later on, you can start finessing how you communicate with him. But right now, let's start to bring the passion back, withhold the criticism, fully receive his actions when he does something, and fully allow that action in. Fully allow that in, and you'll start to see a shift, and then have a conversation about it later. Try it out for a week. After that week, ask him, how did that feel? Get feedback and see what he says. I'm telling you, you're gonna love what he says. And also, this isn't about babying him, so it's not like saying, oh my God, good job. No, this is not about babying the fact that he put the dishes away because he's supposed to put the dishes away because you asked him to put the dishes away because you don't like dishes on the sink. It's more about, he did something that I really wanted him to, that's really important for me, and I'm acknowledging him for doing something that was really important for me. Okay, and so it's not about babying him. It's just saying, wow, thank you, honey. Thank you. Okay, so number 2, I've talked about this in my last recent post and in my stories, because this is the thing for me and Ron, and from what I see in relationships, is the thing that is really like keeping you separated, like 100% separated, because this is the number 1 thing that needs to be in the relationship in order for all the other things to evolve. And that is good communication, great conflict resolution. That means not withholding things from your partner that's on your heart, and not attacking your partner with your fears, your concerns, your desires, your wants, and your needs, with the things that are on your heart. It means that if you guys, when there is an issue that happens, because it's gonna happen. Shelby, enough. Everything's okay. Shelby. When there is a conflict, fully resolving it where you feel 100% complete, you have forgiven, you have really spoken everything that you desired for the outcome, for what you need in the future so that this doesn't happen again. You really listened to your partner, you fully received his vulnerability, you shared your vulnerability, he received it, you both implemented action to evolve the relationship so that this doesn't happen again. that stone is completely turned and it's left right there where it is, and you're continuing to go upward. It's not you're stuck there, or you feel this stone is just carrying it on your back through the entire years of your relationship. That's a heavy fucking thing to be carrying. And that stone is like right in the middle of your hearts. So when Ron and I had our initiation, there was something that he shared with me that I had no idea he was holding on to this for 2 years. In the summer of 2020 until April of 2022, when we had our initiation, he was withholding this from me. He was keeping me out of his heart. And I'm over here desperately trying to connect, desperately trying to feel his presence and to feel him. And he's withholding one of the biggest fears that he's been carrying for 2 years from something that I did, that I knew that it caused him pain. I knew it hurt him, because when I shared this, I saw just it was like this whole energy shift that happened with the way he looked at me. It was almost like all these illusions, like, of what he thought I was and who I was. I didn't cheat on him or anything like that, okay? So obviously I would know that. So it wasn't anything like that. But I could just see how I broke his trust and how it really hurt and upset him. I saw it all throughout his face. I could just feel it in his body. I saw it on his eyes. I felt the energy change in the room. I think he like shed a tear or two or something like that. But it was like almost all his hopes and dreams of what he was going for were now ruined or destroyed, is what it felt like to me, because of me. And even though we talked about it and we created some solutions for it, he didn't share what that action, what fear that created in him. So for 2 years, and then he's also holding on to resentment on me, because this fear is because of me. And so now he is resentful. And now he is not wanting to wine and dine me, to romance me. It felt like pulling teeth. Like, I'm wanting to get my needs met, but I'm not meeting his needs because he hasn't communicated with me one of his biggest fears that he was holding on for 2 years. He was withholding from me. He wasn't letting me into his heart. And I did the same thing in 2021 when there was an incident that happened where he hurt me, and I didn't know how to communicate what I was feeling. I was very confused as to what his role was in this situation. So this also, even though I was doing my own processing, I was still withholding things with him until it finally came out. So not having communication, or having horrible communication and attacking your lover, and not really resolving something and really having that situation complete and moved on, you are going to have a guarded heart towards each other. And a guarded heart is a heart that doesn't want to give, and a heart that doesn't want to surrender, that doesn't want to like fully allow them in. And you don't want to fully go all in again because you're hurt, right? So this is number 2. This is number 2 in this the killing of the passion, because things start to sizzle out. When you first met, your hearts were completely open to each other. You were ready to love. You were ready to give love. You were ready to receive love. And it halted. And there's none of the passion. That's why you don't want to have sex with your lover. Or why there's resistance with the things that they want you to do, or there's resistance on how you can experience different orgasms, or experience different ways of making love, or having hot steamy sex. Like, all of that begins to become boring and routine, right? Or you don't want to, and it just feels like, great, it's a chore that you have to do. And then he's and then you're not being the wine and dine, and you're not getting other needs met, or he's just taking forever to do things, right? Or, you know, other way around. So this is really important in having that radical, honest communication through your heart portal. And inside of Reignite, I'm going to give you a meditation for both of you to connect intimately, to connect through your heart portal, so that you can actually create a safe space to talk about the things that you haven't talked about, the thing that is on your mind right now that you're like, I have not said this to my lover. And I've been holding on to this, and I really need to say this, but I'm scared, because this is part of number 2, where it is vulnerable to really allow your lover in, and to really open up your heart and to say, this is how I really feel. This really hurt me, you know, and for you to feel safe that your lover is going to receive that. So you have to be safe to give the vulnerability, and also to receive that vulnerability. So this is why you can create a halt, and why that passion kind of has just kind of blah. You're guarding your hearts. And because you guys are in a good relationship, there's no consistent trauma projecting in the relationship. That's why you've been able to still like be good and laugh and talk and things like that, because you are in a healthy relationship. It's just that this thing hasn't been talked about, and this thing needs to get talked about. So this is why this is number 2. And this is going to revive that passion and ignite turn on. Because when your heart is unguarded, when your heart is open, your body is safe. Your nervous system is safe. When your nervous system is relaxed, that's when you want to have sex. You don't want to have sex when you're constantly guarding yourself and protecting yourself, right? That's not what, you're in like fight or flight mode. That's not, you're in the is it sympathetic nervous system? You're in the sympathetic nervous system. You need it in the parasympathetic nervous system, so you can fully open up and want to get naked, okay? So this is number 2. So what you need to do is have an open, speak your truth through your heart portal, and receive his truth through your heart portal as well. So number 3 is probably the easiest one out of all of these. And once you hear this, you're probably gonna be like, oh yeah, like duh. Like, it's the easiest to fix, in my opinion. And it's the easiest one to fall into, actually. So this one really requires your attention, and that is laziness. So when you're with your lover, with the love of your life, when you're in a healthy relationship, you eventually go into a routine, right? After the high wears off, you get into a routine, especially when you guys move in together, right? After the excitement of moving in together and things like that, you get into a routine, which is good. It's a good thing that you're in a routine. It's a good thing that there's predictability, and there's a good thing that you have consistency, because that creates safety, it creates security, it creates comfortability in a good way, because it is known. It's not like you're on the edge of your seat, not knowing what's going to happen in the relationship, right? So it is a good thing to have. On the flip side, though, it's an easy thing to just get lazy and to take your partner for granted. It's easy to say, well, my relationship is good, and I'm just gonna put it on the back burner. I'm just gonna put it here on this side and just focus on these areas of my life. I'm gonna focus more on making more money, or becoming a healthier version of myself, or making sure I'm taking care of the kids, or whatever else is going on in your life, taking care of the home and nurturing the home. But then your relationship, if it's not in the forefront, and if you're not being intentional, you're going to be an ordinary couple. That it's good, but it's not great, because you forget to continue to date each other. You forget to continue to do the things that you used to do in the beginning that made your lover feel like, ooh, yes, this is my woman. You forget, and it becomes lazy, and you kind of just like well, she has asked me to do this for a long time, but I don't want to do it. He's wanted me to do this, but I really don't want to. Like, we're fine. Like, life is just getting in the way. Like, we're just doing things, and I have other things that are really important, which is something that I did. I definitely played a role in really not putting as much effort and attention into the relationship because I was so busy in my business and in my money mindset and really going through all of these that I took my partner for granted and all the amazing ways that he was supporting me and loving me and just being there for me. I was just so into this one thing. We have to be able to bring our relationship up to the front, stop being lazy, and make it intentional and create space for it. Actively, intentionally create space for it and date each other again. That's going to bring passion back. That's going to bring gratitude and appreciation for your partner. That's going to bring the excitement back and the thrill back. So sit down with your partner and think about maybe some of the things that you used to do when you were dating in the first couple of years and how you can start implementing that now in your relationship and literally schedule it in. It is sometimes something that you have to schedule into your calendar because life does get busy. So you have to be able to manage things because you have to. You have to create some kind of strategy with your partner so you don't forget. Ron and I have a date Tuesday, Thursday, and Sundays. That is our phone dates. We don't have it every day because we're fine. He's really busy on actively working to move down to Florida, so he's taking a lot of certifications. He's working as well, all of the things. So he wants space for that, and I'm honoring that. And he's honoring my space to do things in my business, to spend time with my family and my friends. So we decided that 3 times a week is perfect. And every time he calls me, I'm like, hi! I was like, babe, you called. And even though I know he's gonna call, I get so excited. I love the fact that I see his name on there. I'm like, my lover's calling me. Like, I get so excited, and he loves that I get excited. But it just feels so good that he remembered, even though I know it's on our calendar. We have a shared calendar and there's a reminder. It still feels so exciting. He sent me a gift the other day. I shared it on my Facebook and on my Instagram and on my Instagram stories about how he sent me beef liver because he knows I'm like, yeah, I really want to started sharing with him how I want to start eating liver again. He's like, okay. He's like, here's a website, pick what you want and let me know. So I picked what I wanted and got ordered liver because the liver is really good for just so many nutrients in your body. It's really good for your metabolism, whatever, all of the things, right? I also ordered bacon and some pork roast because we also love to support local farmers instead of just buying things at the grocery store. That's really important for us. So anyways, he sends it to me and he puts Princess Lozano. It's like the first like, is it called pet name when you call what you call your lovers? And he put Princess Lozano. So when I saw the package come and I was Princess Lozano, oh my God, I like laughed. I thought it was so funny and so cute, but I fully allowed him to know that he nailed it, right? So, and he used to send me packages before too. I think he sent me a package. Was it for my birthday or was it for like, I think just for October? I can't remember what it was. And the fact of receiving something from him feels so good, right? These are things that he used to do. The excitement of receiving the phone call, right? So schedule things into your relationship. Talk about the things that you used to do. One of the things that I used to do, I used to send him sexy pics in the mirror when I was changing. I stopped doing that. So I started to take pictures again and start to send it to him. I made it a point to do it. I made it a point to do it because I do believe, so far right now in my relationship, from my experience, I do believe that after like that high wears off, after like you're just so constantly like really inspired to like, it's almost because of the chase, you know, the thrill of all that, that having that on the forefront usually kind of dies off. So you have to really make notes, put reminders on your phone, like schedule it in your calendar so that you can keep the passion alive, intentionally keep the passion alive in your relationship. So you just have to. I think that's just what happens. I'll let you know what happens as time continues to grow. If maybe the excitement just is there, maybe I'm more inspired, naturally inspired, versus having to schedule something in, you know? But I will let you know about that. So those are the 3 things that you can start implementing now. Try them out for a week and see what happens. See how things start to shift in your relationship, how you start to feel maybe a little bit more connected, how you just feel like you're starting to lift up that thing that was missing and start to, like, little by little feel that ignite the love and the passion and the connection and the sexiness come back. It's not going to happen right away. This does take time. This really does take time. By the time that I set the intention in 2022, in January, we didn't have our full breakthrough until April. It was 4 months. So, and after those 4 months, we had to continue build from that and not get lazy or go back into old habits, which I'm going to share with you inside of Reignite Masterclass on module 4 about what to expect leading up to your big breakthrough and what to expect after you have that breakthrough, because it's important to be able to hold it. So I would love to invite you into Reignite Masterclass if you are ready to bring back the passion, the love, and the connection and the sexiness with your lover like you once had, but better. This is a masterclass for couples. If your partner doesn't want to show up, you can totally show up on your own. Just one person needs to start making the change. One person needs to start initiating, and then as you start changing, you're going to see your partner go along with you. So we begin August 1st. It is $73.33. If you did share this live, please let me know. I'm going to give you a coupon code for $20 off as a thank you. We are going to go over 4 modules. It's going to be 4 different topics. The first one is what the fuck happened? Like, where did things go wrong? Like, what the hell? So we're going to create an intention and a focal point with you and your lover, and we're going to have that radical, honest communication. So we're going to talk about that, and I'm going to give you that meditation in the first module, and steps to take and conversational prompts for you to have with your partner to receive safe communication and to also give safe and loving communication. So that's day 1. To me, this is the most important one. It's not as exciting as the other ones, but this is the deep intimacy. This is where you create the depth, the safety, the love, where your heart just feels so open, safe, loved, cared for, heard, seen. This is what we want in our relationship. This is why you fell in love in the first place. So we need to bring that back and stretch the edges and move past the fear of whatever has been holding you from not speaking with your partner about a certain topic that you're withholding or not fully sharing. So then module 2 has 2 parts. Part 1 is bringing the sexy back. And this is gonna be about sexual polarity, and this is going to be about how we can stop any parent-child dynamics and go back into fully feminine embodiment, masculine embodiment in the divine expression, and how this really is what keeps the spark and what attracted to you in the first place. When you are not in your embodiments, you're going to depolarize, and part of that symptom is boringness. it's bickering, it's fighting over stupid shit. It's not feeling like you're held as a woman and you're like your man is leading and the man feeling like he's not respected and appreciated in the relationship, right? So we really want to bring that back, and this is what really helps like bring the fire in. Like the intimacy is what, like, it's what's there, and this is like the fire that's going to be building. And then on day 2, on part 2 of module 2, we're going to bring sexy back in the bedroom, and we're going to talk about how when you are fully in your embodiment, how that really helps you to break past any limitations that you have sexually, with orgasm, with certain ways that you want to orgasm, with certain ways that you want to experiment different sexual things, which you can look on the website on part 2 on 2 specific things that I noticed that I wrote there, because this really requires you to be fully surrendered. I don't want to say it here because I'm not sure if they're going to cut me off. So you really need to be fully surrendered to your lover, and the only way you can be really surrendered if you feel held by his masculine core and if your heart is unguarded, which is why why day 1 is super important, and why I keep emphasizing that, and why having your sexual polarities on point is also important, so you guys can both flourish in your proper embodiments and roles in your relationship, and it feels just so on point. You know what I mean? Like, what was missing is not missing anymore. It's there. You found it. So then on day 3, we're going to talk about shadow and expansion. So this kind of goes and circles in with both of these, because our shadow will definitely play a part in guarding our heart. It will definitely play a part with our masculine and father wounds. Our feminine and mother wounds will play a role in our relationship. And it's come to be healed and expanded. That's why there's certain issues that you're having, like you're in that upward spiral of love, and then now you're like, gee, there's like that, it's not moving, it's like here is stale, it's not continuing to go up. So part of that is shadow work, and we're going to talk about certain areas when it comes to your inner child wounds, your mother and father wounds, when it comes to what that means and how you trust your man in relationship, and how perhaps that's one of the reasons why you have taken on maybe a more controlled relationship, and why he's taken on more of a passive approach in the relationship. So this will clear up so much, and give you so much clarity about maybe something that you didn't even know was a thing in the relationship. Or if you're the woman, you probably have a feeling, but you didn't quite know what it is. And I'm going to share with you a lot on this subject, and give you so much clarity as to why there's this stall, and why there's this lack of movement and upward spiral and passion in the relationship. And then on module 4, we're going to talk about, which is day 5, we're going to talk about what to expect, what to expect leading up, and what to expect after. So you're going to have embodiments. You're going to have embodiments in sexual polarity, sensual practices to ignite like turn on and orgasm, and all the beautiful things. You can check the website if you want to see more in detail of everything that I have to offer inside this program, inside of this masterclass. We begin August 1st. It's $73.33. If you share, please let me know. You'll get the $20 off. I will give you that coupon code. And what else do I have to say? I think that's it. If you have any questions and you want them answered, you can definitely either comment here, or if you just slide in my DMs, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Or if you want to know if this masterclass is for you, or if you just want to say, yay, I love this freaking live, I'm joining, send me the link, and you just want to tell me that, awesome too. I am here for it. I would love to chat with you and connect with you. So thank you for being here. I did not want to do this live, as I mentioned, but I'm really happy that I did. I'm glad I stuck to this commitment, and let you know that sometimes you just got to do it. All right? Okay. I love you, and I hope you have a beautiful and great weekend. I will see you inside of the masterclass or on the ethers. Mwah! Bye.